Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be restoring an Airfix 042 Great Western Railway 14xx. I've had this locomotive in my collection for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's never really ran very well. So let's do something about that. First things first, we need to take the body off. This is done by using a flat bladed screwdriver and sticking it down the funnel and unscrewing the main body screw. As you can see, the entire funnel's come off. Let's put that to one side for now. Before pulling the body off, make sure to disconnect all the pipework connecting the body to the chassis. This should be relatively straightforward unless you've glued it in place. Once this is done, pull up slightly from the front of the body and eventually it will come off without too much hassle. As you can see here, I'm currently attempting to remove the motor from the rest of the chassis. This is done quite easily with a cross-headed screwdriver. The quite thick screw is actually hidden behind the trailing wheels. For those of you who might be following along at home, take extreme care when lifting the motor out, as there's quite a delicate spring which could easily get lost. I say that from experience. Let's put the motor to one side for now and focus on cleaning up the rest of the chassis and the wheels. My go-to cleaning method is nail polish remover, as well as some cotton buds. I found this to be quite cheap, but very effective. Here, I apply a bit of nail polish remover to the cotton bud, and then start by cleaning the contact points on the motor. If you are going to clean the bit I'm cleaning now, make sure to take the spring off, as this could end quite badly. Whilst I'm cleaning the motor up, I might as well clean up the commutator, which is what I'm doing now. This is very important, as this is what allows power to be transferred to the motor. Ideally, I would use a Dremel with a wire brush tool, but unfortunately I don't have one for this. Make sure to thoroughly clean the edge of the tyres, as this is where power is picked up from the rails and then transferred to the pickups. Now, one of the most essential parts of this restoration, lubrication. What you want to do is apply a small blob of oil, barely visible, to each of the axles and everywhere where friction might occur while running. This includes all the valve gear, although in this case I completely forgot about this. Now that we've removed all the grime from the tyres, make sure to go along with a flat-bladed screwdriver and remove any fluff that could be trapped between the pickup and the wheel. Once you've done this, I'd recommend going around the wheel again, making sure all the rim is clean. Surprisingly, even for a model of this age, even the trailing wheels have pickups. You might remember that small contact spring. In the chassis there's actually a little hole where it sits. Make sure to clean that out as well, as loads of dust and grime can build up in there. Here, I decided to apply a bit of oil to the motor, just to make sure that there wouldn't be any excess friction. Once this was done, I decided to reattach the motor, this time taking extra care and not letting the spring fly away. This would be a disaster, as I don't have any spare currently. The motor is then secured with that big screw, and there you have it, a functioning chassis. The motor now sounds a lot happier than it did, and its running performance has actually improved drastically. It's now time to turn our attention to the locomotive body. I'm quite happy with the shape it's in, so all I do is just rub it down quickly with a brush. For the more difficult to reach parts, I use a bit of a thinner brush, which works fine. And now it's finally time to reassemble the loco. Make sure to clip the body onto the chassis from the back and then push on the front. Also, make sure not to get any of the linkages stuck between the body and the chassis. I've done this many times and it's very frustrating. Whilst reassembling the loco, I must have touched something, as it kept shorting out. I narrowed this fault down to the little brass plate that actually joins onto the motor. And this is where electrical tape is definitely something you need. It turns out that was shorting with some of the metal weights. And there we go. The chassis now works absolutely faultlessly. With this problem now rectified, I can go ahead and reattach the body using the same method as earlier. As a way of saying thank you for watching, I've also decided to make a little running session of this. I hope you enjoy. And of course, thank you very much.